horrible Jew. My wife, if anyone has any questions and you know any Jewish people, they're like, oh, ask Jason. I go, no, you should ask my wife. She's not Jewish, yet she seems to know more about Judaism than I will ever know. That being said, I had two pillars of Jewish beliefs that I had growing up, one which crumbled years ago and the other which crumbled recently. The first one was that my belief that all Jewish food is ugly, but tastes awesome. Like matzo ball soup, if you ever have it, a matzo ball is just gross looking, but it's really delicious. A kugel, it's like noodle cake, gross, but taste awesome. And then gefilte fish was introduced to my life, and then that is not only disgusting looking, it's jellied fish that's crumbled up and put into a jar. It is also disgusting. So that whole pillar of thinking that, oh yeah, no, Jewish food looks good, but it's horrible, went to crap. My second pillar was mostly given to me by my mother, which is Jewish people are not supposed to have tattoos because it desecrates the body that God gave you. This is something that she drilled into my head my whole life. So about 30 years ago, my brother, who's going through his rebellious phase in college, decides I'm in a fraternity and I'm going to get a tattoo. And so he gets a skull with a snake going through it, and he puts it on his hip. So he figures, hey, if I wear a towel like I'm coming out of the shower, no one will see it. I can cover it up. Mom will never see my tattoo. And of course, you know, Mr. Tough Guy football player, all this stuff says to me, don't tell mom. Whatever you do, don't tell mom. I'm like, okay. Years go by. My mom, you know, as far as I know, my mom never finds out. So at some point I'm thinking, I want to get a tattoo. So I actually bring this up in a conversation with my mom and I say, hey, you know, I'm not a practicing Jew. What's the big deal? Why can't I get a tattoo? So my mom, realizing she can't play the religious card, decides that she wants to play mom logic with me. So she says, what if, now I can't do the Jewish mom voice as good, but what if you rob a bank and then someone notices your tattoo and that's how they catch you? So to be fair to my mom, this is not the first time I've heard the what if you rob a bank thing, because it was like, hey, the kids want to get those sneakers that, you know, like when you run on them, the lights light up on the bottom. Oh, but what if they rob a bank and then someone can follow them by the lights on the bottom of their shoes? You know what? How's this? If I get a tattoo, I won't rob a bank, and that will be my compromise. So years later come by, and my first daughter is born, and my wife and I, for one of our anniversaries, decided to get each other tattoos. So I get footprints with her date of birth on my shoulder blade right here. So I'm visiting with my brother, and I'm visiting with my mom. And so my brother finds out that I have a tattoo, and we go in the other room, and he sees it, and he goes, now we're in our 30s at this point. And he's had this tattoo for like 15 years. And he goes, did you tell mom? And I said, dude, we're in our 30 something years old. We both have kids. Yes, I told mommy that I have a tattoo. I didn't tell her that you have a tattoo, but I told her that I have a tattoo. So, you know, I'm holding this belief to it. And, you know, I eventually end up getting 2 more tattoos. And my mom, when I've come to find out about my mom, which kind of shook this second pillar of mine, is that while my mom is a big believer of Judaism, she's also a big believer of being trendy. So when like Miami Ink came out and all those shows about like tattoos and how cool they are came out, my mom's like, oh, look at that. That's so cool. I want a tattoo. So suddenly my mom wants tattoos. So for my mom's 60th birthday, when she comes to visit me in New York, I take her out and I get her first tattoo, I should say. So I take her there. I'm like, what do you want? She gets an apple because she was a teacher. She loved Apple computers, and like her father always said, you should eat an apple a day. So it had some kind of sentimental value. She got a tattoo, and over the years, she got a second tattoo. So, and while these 2 foundations of Judaism that I have collapsed, while I have my mom to blame for the tattoo one going down, no matter what happens, I know that my mom makes the ugliest but most delicious matzo ball soup that I've ever had. Thank you.
Hear it for Jewish food. Love a kugel.